We beat a bird team. The offense springs to life while the defense was picking sixes. Where it started out challenging, the Pack persevered. We look for the first road win of the season and our first back-to-back win as we head to Bears country next on your Packers Fan Podcast.
Hey, Packers fans, this is your unofficial Packers Fan Podcast, and these are the podcasters you're looking for. One of these guys was once a club DJ in a country saloon, and the other guy gave up his seats on the 20-yard line so 12,000 more fans could enjoy the game live. And now it's time to Go Pack Go with your hosts, Wayne Henderson and Troy Heinritz.
This is your Packers Fan Podcast, the show by and for fans of your 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers. It's December 12th, 2018, and on this 172nd episode, I'm at Wayne Henderson, and I'm dreaming of a white Christmas that's not going to happen here in SoCal.
And I am at Troy Heinritz, not going to see a white Christmas either because I'm going to SoCal in a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we'll have to get together and have some grubbing and some eating and some cheese curds. I'll have to bring those with me.
Just hide them in your luggage.
Merry Christmas, Wayne.
Merry Christmas, Troy.
We will go over the Pack's much-needed win over the Atlanta Falcons. Finally glad to beat those guys. Plus, playoff scenarios, Week 15 edition. Our chances actually improved last week. Yes, up 3%. Go Dolphins this week. Injury updates abound, and of course, our latest in our NFC North roundup.
And it's Bears week, people. We will preview this Sunday's Packers at Bears game, including Sir Troy's keys to a Packers victory. We'll have the results from this week's Twitter and Facebook poll and your G-Force feedback from 920-3PACK-GO email and the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community.
Links or articles we reference in this episode can be found on our website, PackersFanPodcast.com/172. Man, that's a lot of episodes.
That is a lot of Packers talk, and we're going to add to it right now because there was a lot of stuff to be pleased about watching this victory over the Falcons.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was like the rally of the troops game and we're really going to come back down to earth. I mean, gosh, you see the Bears and the Rams. Holy cow, was that game intense.
The Bears are good, but they're not as good as that game makes them look.
Yeah, we have Aaron Rodgers, and we have an offense that seems to be clicking because touchdowns abound. Yes, we got 3 on the offensive side and 1 on the defensive side this week.
So good to see, and that touchdown to Davante Adams, that guy is a beast, and I love watching the way he does these spin around catches. You almost cannot defend those.
Absolutely not. It puts him in a very challenging, precarious position. And I think what Davante does really well is he makes sure he gets every single yard. So whenever you see him carrying the ball, especially when he's in space at the goal line, he's always reaching for 1 more yard or 2 more yards with that giant wingspan that he has. So good on him for the extra effort this week.
And how about a Packer that's new to getting into the highlights? Bashaud Breeland taking that interception from Matty Ice to the house, Troy.
Oh my gosh, Bashaud Breeland has become my new favorite friend. And if he can tear him up with Jari Alexander,
yes,
we might actually have a secondary, people.
I'll
real
take it.
Secondary.
Yeah, that touchdown of his was fantastic. And then later in the game, he recovered that muffed ball snap and got us the ball back again. So thank you very much, BB.
Can you imagine what it would be like to have Breeland and Jari back there, and then we add just 2 really good edge rushers so that we could get in there and ruffle? We could be picking sixes all day.
That's what I want to have happen for the Green Bay Packers. I love pick sixes and fumble recoveries, and the crowd goes berserk, and rightfully so.
Can we pick up a pass rusher from the waiver wire just for this 1 week?
I don't know. If it's legal, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, Clay Matthews actually got a sack this week of Matt Ryan, forced another Falcons punt. That was really great to see Matthews get through the line, and they were getting through the line pretty consistently, I think, during the course of the Falcons game. I don't know if that's because the Falcons have a not so stellar offensive line, but if this is, the scheme is finally trying to kind of come together for Mike Pettin, this might be a good time to be hitting that mark so that they can go ahead and push in on the Bears and make havoc for Trubisky next week. And then, of course, going into the Jets and Lions, we should be able to take care of them. We could win our 3 games. That would be fantastic.
Sign me up. I am all for it. It was great to see, and AR-12 was having some fun. He's now thrown 359 passes in a row without an interception.
And counting.
Of course, and counting. Just don't put up a next-gen stat at the game this week, okay?
Yeah. That was his 360th without an interception. Dang it.
Oh.
But our O-line is pretty decimated, and that makes me very nervous. Very nervous for the Bears game. I mean, Hicks and Mack coming through our offensive line right now. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm trying to figure out how I put boosters on my feet.
Yeah, and if there's any way to hand off the ball even quicker, that would be much appreciated, because I guess they said that 3/5, if you do that kind of math, 3/5 of our O-line was out injured.
Yeah, I know Balaga is probably going to be down again this week.
Hey.
So, Spriggs.
Oh, my goodness. How excited were you that the Green Bay Packers had used up all of their challenges for the whole game early in the first quarter before we even had the ball on offense one time?
That one was a head scratcher. I mean, I can see why they probably thought about throwing the flags and stuff, but it's like, okay, Joe, I know it's the first week out. Back off the caffeine a little bit, buddy.
All I can say is challenges, schmallenges.
Yeah. He was watching too much How I Met Your Mother. He's like, challenge accepted. Here you go. Red flag for you. Red flag for you. Red flag for you.
Oh, wait, it's not unlimited? Oh, crap.
At least we didn't use all of those timeouts in the second half. That's a bonus, I guess.
Yeah, we've learned our lesson the hard way with those. But it was a constant battle against the referees. I mean, sometimes they seem certifiably incompetent. They ruled that those 2 attempted catches by Julio were caught when
Garbage.
Replays clearly show that one definitely wasn't and one probably wasn't. Then they totally missed throwing the flag on one of the most blatant face maskings I've seen done against Aaron Rodgers in years.
Ridiculous.
And didn't even penalize Atlanta nearly enough for that spearing against AR-12 after his long run after he was already sliding. Big fight ensues. Falcons playing like thugs, and I'm glad that we beat them handily.
I think the one where he slid, I mean, Aaron goes down to slide like at the very last minute as he's already down there, and he does turn his head away from Aaron, so it wasn't like he was trying to intentionally hit him. I think it was just a timing thing. Now, the scrum I love because it shows the passion and that the team is actually gelling and together. I think that's kind of the, what do you want to call it, the motivation factor or the rallying cry that we needed to see the offensive line do that for the QB.
The galvanizing moment?
Yeah, it might be. It might be, hey, look, we're a team and we're going to stick together and we're going to finish this thing out. I really like that spirit in the Packers. I thought that's something that's been missing during the dark stretch, as we call it this year.
It's definitely been a stretch. I still think that was uncalled for, though.
It really wasn't a dark stretch. I mean, we just barely lost to the Rams. We just barely lost to the Patriots. We just barely lost to the Seahawks. And we just barely lost to one play goes a different way. Just think, if Crosby makes that one field goal at the Vikings game and we don't have that stupid tie, we'd be in the playoffs right now, I think.
Yeah. If
the team is not a bad team.
No, we're definitely not a bad team. We've got more than our fair share of injuries. There's no doubt about it, but we know how to win when we have to win. And, well, this coming week, we have to win. But, yeah, that Rams game, it so clearly could have been ours for the taking. Next time. And we did not have much of a running game this past week. Is it because the O-line was so banged up that there was nobody to do lead blocking or open holes? Or what do you think's behind the lack of a running game this week?
Aaron Jones has shown nothing but the most amazing ability that he's had. I mean, 2 30-yard runs this year. So I think this is definitely a matter of O-line being not gelling together because you got to have 5 guys that literally play as one. And because of that, that's why the running game is suffering right now, which is fine. If you need to, just dump them out, 5-yard pass, dump them out, 5-yard pass. We got to execute the same game plan the Patriots executed against the Bears. That is exactly what we need to do in order to win the game this week.
All righty.
I think Brady had an average of 4.4 yards per throw in that game. And you know what? 4 times 3 is 12. First down.
And 12. AR 12, not TB 12.
Yeah.
Oh, we're banged up, man. Take a look at this injury report.
I mean, a lot of these names that we've already seen for a long time, right? Devon and Muhammad and Geronimo and Kentrell and Nick and Mike Daniels and Trevor Davis. And so really Brian Balaga is the only one on this list that's new. And of course, he's doubtful.
And he's probably the most important name on the list at this point of the season.
Yes, for sure.
So we're hoping against hope to see what happens. Yay. The Bears, bunch of players I don't know, but probably the one to keep an eye on is Benny Cunningham of the Bears. He's week to week, so you never know.
Well, I mean, the way Jordan Howard played last week, I don't think Benny's going to be seeing much of the ball if Howard keeps going the way he does. And our run defense, is not so stellar. So we've got to make sure Jordan Howard stays intact.
We've got to stop the run. Hopefully, Kenny Clark's feeling up to speed and we can take care of business because he was banged up a little bit, but then I was very happy to see him come back into the game.
Yeah.
Oh, my. So I think that wraps it up. We are quite glad to have that victory. It was a pretty handy victory. I know the score looked kind of close because of the garbage time touchdowns. I wish we wouldn't allow those, but at least we didn't allow 2 or 3 more of them so we could lose the game.
I'd be interested to see what the listeners thought of a victory. It's been a long time since we had a W.
It has. And now that we're on a roll, we're going to have them every week. I just have a feeling. Let's check in with the G-Force. They gave us a call at 920-3-PACK-GO. In fact, since the podcast is a day late this week, we got a combined double call from Andre in L.A. We spliced it together. Lots of good thoughts. Take it away, Andre.
Hey guys, it's Andre in LA. Go Pack Go. It feels great to get a win, a much needed win, first time in a while. I like what I saw from the team today, the resiliency, because even though we got a touchdown early and Atlanta got a touchdown, we had a couple of drives where they stalled, and the team could have really just packed it in if they felt like they made a bad decision. It's already a bum season, but they showed grit and toughness, and they just showed up offensively, and Rodgers looked very impressive, the best I've seen him all year. Defensively, there were a lot of good things I saw. Even though they gave up a couple of, simple touchdowns at the end of the game, I was very impressed overall from what the cohesion of the team. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. I wanted to take a moment to give a shout-out to Davante Adams. Man, he's been a beast this year, and really something that really hasn't been talked about is how great he has been for this team for, the past couple of years. Even last year with Brett Hundley, I think he still led the team, or at least was top 5 in receiving touchdowns. So no one can say, he's just a product of Aaron Rodgers. So I'm thankful he actually got his money and is still producing. And I know we miss Jordy Nelson, and I'm a big Jordy Nelson fan, but I've seen what he's done in Oakland. He looks like he's maybe about to retire this offseason. Again, I'm not sure what we're going to do with Cobb and Geronimo Allison at the end of the season. Maybe we go younger. Maybe we re-sign Cobb because we need a slot receiver. But I wanted to give some love to Davante Adams. No one really talks about him, at least not on none of the callers. Barely gets mentioned on any of the sports talk show. So hopefully you guys, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Andre in LA, go Pack Go.
We're going to make T-shirts. Hashtag Tay all day.
Oh, I like that. That's got style and flash.
Absolutely, because he should. He's been the star of the receiving corps for many years, and even though we kind of ragged on him a little bit, maybe in his sophomore slump, but he came out in his third year and really put some numbers together, and he's really come into his own as a solid receiver in the NFL. So absolutely, Tay is the heart and soul of the offense, I think, this year in particular. And if we can pair him up with some slot receivers or situational coverage, and I really digged we actually saw some bump and run plays, little crossing routes going on, even though Jimmy got flagged for it because he completely came off of his route to block the guy.
Oh, well.
But But at least we're doing something different on offense, and I think that's why it opened it up, and it was able to get down there and score 3 touchdowns for the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch, and after those terrible injuries a year or so ago, when he was knocked out pretty much twice in one season, it is so good to see him performing at such a high level. And Andre, so good to hear from you twice this week. And I thought you brought up a great point also about the fact that the Packers have grit, even after the stalled drives, they kept at it. Wondering about the team cohesion. Do you think we're getting more cohesive, Troy?
I absolutely do. This showed that the team was able to put together what I thought was a pretty complete game for the most part. I'm still a little unhappy in the fourth quarter that we kind of went to the standard Green Bay way of, we're up by enough. Let's just kind of lay off the gas a little bit, run the ball, keep the clock out, which I know is what you're supposed to do. But man, if you're firing, keep firing. Step on the jugular once. Let people know that you exist and that you're here to take some names. Strike some fear, because I think that's always a good thing to do. Like, put up 50 points going into the Bears who only put up 15 and say, yeah, keep up. Let's go.
You've got me extra giddy for the Sunday game, and it's not even airing on regular television here, but I will find it. I will watch it. I will savor it. It's going to be fantastic. That's
why I have my Xfinity Comcast app, as I'm going to be standing in the Disneyland lines on Sunday, and I'm going to be like, oh, this line is an hour long? I guess I'll watch the Packers while I wait.
That sounds fair. That's Disney magic right there. Let's check back in at 920-3-PACK-GO.
Hey, guys, it's Jay from Orange County. Sorry I haven't called in a while, but been too frustrated after these losses. Looks good this time, though. Much better game against Atlanta. Kind of sorry to see McCarthy go, but I guess it's time because they seem to be playing better now. Great to see you guys at the Rams game. Also, did you notice during this game that they called themselves out on the jinxing? Let me play the clip for you here.
Just hands on a couple of today. That'll bring the third down. You bring up the interception, not throwing an interception straight, and you put it immediately in jeopardy. It's like throwing the field goal graphic on the screen. Nice job by
So the announcers are well aware that they're doing that, apparently, so they keep doing it. Anyway, great win. Looking forward to beating the Bears. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go indeed, Jake. Great to hear from you. And yeah, there's been some choppy parts to the season, but it's so good to get your call. And yeah, they got to not jinx those things.
I mean, the thing you have to keep in mind, though, just because we won this game and it looked like it was things are coming around, maybe looking a little bit better, it's not because they fired McCarthy. Let's not do that as Packer Nation people.
No,
this is they came up with a game plan. It is the Falcons. They aren't that good. We should beat them with the team that we have. And so I think if we come out swinging, and I mean swinging against the Bears next week, I think that will make a statement. If we can beat the Bears and beat them somewhat handily, I think that makes a statement that we should be a playoff team and that we are a playoff team, and that we just need some help from the Dolphins.
Of all people. Well, maybe
they beat New England. I mean, let me tell you.
That was awesome.
That play never works. Never works.
Never works. Never. I'm watching it going, I can't wait till I see it bounce on the ground. Oh, hey, touchdown. Game over. Patriots lose. That's a good day for America. Packers win. Patriots lose.
Yeah, that's one of those where I wish the tunnel was on that end so you could just ran into the end zone and just kept going. Walk off and say, see you later.
Hey, maybe Joe Philbin still knows a few tricks we can use against the Dolphins. But we're not playing the Dolphins. Wait a minute.
Maybe Joe Philbin can give them all the intel they have on the Vikings from the 2 times we played them, so it helps them out.
Wow, the Vikings' wheels are coming off as well. It's all about finishing strong, not starting strong. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. I can't believe we got to cheer for the Bears the last week of the season.
One thing at a time. Depending on how things go, we may not have to.
Hey, positive thoughts.
You're trying to talk me into being a realist, and now we want positive thoughts. I see. Let's check in and see what happened in this week's Monday Twitter poll on Twitter, obviously, at Packers Fan Pod, and in our Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community group. Do the Packers need to change their game plan, which worked so well against the Falcons, this week when we play the Bears? And you kind of hinted earlier, Troy, keep the same game plan. Well,
I don't know if it's the same game plan, but they need to do the same game plan that the Patriots did against the Bears, where Mac and Hicks are going to come at you like a freight train. And with our O-line banged up, Rodgers is going to have 2 seconds, no more. He definitely will have less, but I don't think he can throw the ball that fast. He's not Superman. He's close, but not quite. But yeah, 2 seconds is about the most he's going to get. So he's got to find slot receivers. He's got to find crossing patterns. He's got to be able to just hike the ball and roll out immediately to give Jones enough time to get out into the flat and then dump it off for 4 yards, 5 yards, and just dink and dunk all day long. Keep scrapping, keep fighting, because that's how we're going to win.
So that sounds kind of like a yes and no answer.
Yeah, I mean,
tweak the game plan, customize it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play the strengths, right? So you got to figure out like who's the hot one in the cornerback side, where can you get your matchups against an inside linebacker, so you could take advantage of that with Jimmy. So yeah, I think you tweak the game plan slightly, but yeah, it seems to be cadence and tempo and pacing. I think we're good on Sunday, but change up the plays a little bit just so that you can take advantage of some matchups.
Okay, that's similar to what the voters thought. 75% of the people said keep the same game plan, go with what works. And 25% were like, no, we got to change it because it's the Bears. It's totally different.
Well, there you go. I'm 50-50, so it averages out.
Yeah, so that works out very well. Let's see what kind of emails we saw coming into feedback at PackersFanPodcast.com this week, Troy.
Hey, everybody. It's Caleb and Roy Fisher, Larna LaPointe, and Mary Herkmans from Green Bay, Wisconsin. How great it was that our Packers were able to beat the Falcons. It almost seemed like we had the Super Bowl Aaron Rodgers back.
Oh, yeah.
We also noticed how good our offensive line was during the game until it wasn't there. Hoping that our Packers will keep winning and somehow get into the playoffs, because no matter what, we go Pack go and we bleed green and gold till dead and cold. Caleb Fisher and company up here in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I like that Caleb Fisher and company. They may even become incorporated one of these days and be Caleb Fisher Inc. That would be very cool. Good to hear from you. Also got an email from Steven checking in from Palos Park, Illinois. The Green Bay Packers finally win a game. Can they please do it 3 more times? Amen to that, Steven.
All I want for Christmas is wins.
Oh, I knew we'd get a song out of you eventually, Troy. Steven says, this does make you wonder, though, if the Packers hadn't fired Mike McCarthy as the head coach, and he was still the head coach when we played the Falcons, would we have still won this game? And I say yes.
Yes. I'm not going to play that game. Mike served the team well. I have nothing but respect for Mike. It was a decision that had to be made at the time and had to be made. Look, if you win the Arizona game, it's a completely different conversation, right? We are literally knocking on the door, if not in. So it is what it is. It happened. It's done. It's over with. Mike took out an awesome full-page ad in the paper, thanking the community, thanking everybody. I'm not going to play the what-if game. All I know is that 3 wins, that's what we have to do.
And hello to the Chicago Bears, who played the Rams. And Steven says the Rams threw the game against the Chicago Bears.
Well, kind of. I mean, they threw a couple interceptions that the Bears got, which was a little bit abnormal for the Rams' perspective.
Both sides were throwing interceptions like they were going out of style.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'd expect Trubisky to be a little bit kind of, what do you want to say, rusty. I mean, he hadn't played the last couple of weeks, so kind of getting back in the groove. So hopefully that plays into our favor. If we get a little bit of pass rush going, ruffle Trubisky up a bit, get a couple pick sixes, that'll help out the offense, not feel so pressured when Mac and Hicks are literally running over Rodgers all day.
I thought you were going to say mac and cheese.
Oh, man. Where
Gotta have dinner.
Where is that? Like, hello, broadcast people. Why wasn't that in the season opener? That would have been perfect.
Mac and cheese. But, Steven, I don't think the Rams lost the game on purpose.
There's no way they lost it on purpose.
I've heard some conspiracy theories like that, and I'm like, I just don't see it. They are in the race to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Now, I could envision a scenario where, because it's so cold and the Bears defense can inflict some damage, that perhaps they went with safer than normal run plays. Like, we're not going to risk getting our running back injured here in Chicago in this weather. But
yeah, because Gurley was not a Gurley game at all. Gurley seemed like he was a human once again.
Yes, so I think maybe they played to not get injured, but I don't think they played to lose. And guess what? You have to go back to 11/26 of 2015, the last time the Bears beat the Packers, and that was Thanksgiving, and we're well past Thanksgiving 2015. Anyway, looking forward to Troy's keys to the Packers' victory over the Chicago Bears. Stephen V. signing off.
All right, let's see what the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community group at packerscommunity.com had to say. Coming all the way over from the other side of the puddle, Mr. Brett Connor said, I thought the whole game was a bit hit and miss. I'm not going to do it that way. If I'm honest, it was nice when we finally got the run game going. The passing game wasn't quite up to standards again today. There were some terrible throws and some drop passes, but every now and then, Rodgers would drop an absolute dime, like the touchdown to Cobb. Considering it was below zero, I honestly thought Graham would have struggled to catch a cold. The defense had a good game, maybe not so much in the fourth quarter, especially when the Falcons upped the tempo, but at this point, the game was all but out of reach for them. The officiating pretty much summed up our season, but That's true. But hey, a win is a win, and it was great to see the Packers winning at home. On to our must-win matchup next week, the Bears. Go Pack Go.
Very well put, Brett, and a win is a win. And yes, below zero when you're talking Celsius, centigrade, whatever, but very cold, and still you bleed green and gold. So thank you very much for that. There's a lot more great conversations going on in the Facebook community group at packerscommunity.com, including Granny Cheese herself, Dawn, sharing the post-game pressers from Aaron Rodgers and interim head coach Joe Philbin. Also, former Coach McCarthy, that full-page ad in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, that is shared in the group as well. And check this, Kenny Clark from right here in the IE is the Packers nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. Read about that and much more, all at packerscommunity.com.
Well, Christmas Eve is December 24th, and that's just magical because Willie Wood was also a man who sported the number 24. And when it comes to the Packers Fan Podcast, Bryant also sports 24. That's right, because he gives $24 in monthly support to your Packers Fan Podcast. This is your podcast by fans and for fans. And with fans like Bryant, we're able to keep things going. So head on over to packersfanpodcast.com/support to see how you can make your podcast even better and chip in just like Bryant does. Thank you so much, and happy holidays.
Also, thanks going out to the Texas-only Green Bay Packers Fanatics Facebook group, still wowing the crowd with their monthly $12 a month Aaron Rodgers support level of the show. Stay tuned for their Go Pack Go at the end, as always.
And supporting the Packers Fan Podcast at the ever-popular Brett Favre $4 monthly level, we have MVP Scott Clark from the Gaming Outsider supporting the show at $4, along with Packers fan supporter Andre, and our dedication to lifelong Packer backer Randy Westgame of Wausau, plus Jeff Summerfield checking in at the $4 level as well. Thanks so much to all of our $4 patrons.
And we would be remiss if we did not mention the founding level, the Curly Lambeau, the $1 a month monthly supporters, Velvet O'Clair, Aaron Peterson from the Hollywood Outsider, and Hank Davis from the TPE network of podcasts.
Yes, again, packersfanpodcast.com/support. Go ahead and throw a couple bucks in there if you've had fun this season, because we've just had to keep it real and just literally coming out here talking to you guys, the fans, about everything that we can do to make the team, the podcast, the fans, whatever we can do even better. packersfanpodcast.com/support. Throw $3, $5, whatever you want to do. Totally up to you. Just give us that nice Christmas bonus. That would be fantastic.
Thanks again, Aaron, Hank, the Texas-only Green Bay Packers Fanatics, Andre, Scotty, Bryant, Randy, Jeff, and Velvet for your awesome support of the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
With that, we'll check in with the rest of the NFC Norris division. That's right. The Lions, they're playing spoiler. Oh, wait. They played the Cardinals this week.
Oh,
and they beat them. They beat them. That's such a rub in the face. Yep. So, but we can't overlook these guys in week 17, because when a clean pocket actually exists, good Matt Stafford shows up. He had a positive turnover day, which was something that we haven't seen in a long time from Stafford this season. And Zach Zenner, I have no idea who that is, but Zach Zenner was also a start part of the offense this week with his rushing ability. So keep an eye on Zach Zenner as we move into Week 17. Darius Slay also added to his highlight reel with a pick 6. That was the go-ahead score in the contest. Now the Bears, we already mentioned that Mitch's comeback was not so stellar. 30 attempts and less than 100 yards. 3 interceptions, practically handed the Rams the game on a silver platter. Yet Jordan Howard came back with his first 100-yard game of the season. Yes, and he almost matched Mitch's yard total. That's kind of scary when you think about it. But what's really scary is 3 sacks from the defensive line, thanks to Mack and Hicks, including a strip sack, not to mention the secondary actually picking the Rams apart. Defense wins championships, and Rodgers and company will have a playoff challenge ahead of them on Sunday. Now the Vikings, we like to pick on the Vikings every now and then.
They're
7.
purple.
I like purple. I like purple. I just don't like Viking purple. 7, yes, the number of points the Vikings scored on Monday night. And it is also the total number of wins the Vikings will have if the Packers want to make the playoffs. Yes, all roads rest in the hands of the Vikings, and especially this week, the Miami Dolphins. Did we mention they beat the Patriots? Yes, Sheldon Richardson was the standout on defense for the Vikes, but Cousins struggled big time with no rhythm at all, and Thielen and Cook still did their thing, but it wasn't enough in the end. So here's the deal, folks. This is what has to happen. The Vikings have 3 games left, and they need to lose 2 of those games. The Dolphins this week is their best shot, and the Bears to close out the season. Very possible to happen that the Vikings will lose 2 more games and finish with that 7-8-1 record. Then the Panthers, the Skins, and the Eagles all need to lose 1 more game as well. Now, the Panthers have to play the Saints twice, so that's a no-brainer. The Skins are on their 3rd-string quarterback, so they will definitely lose 1.
I think they're on their 4th-string quarterback now.
Maybe. And the Eagles are kind of falling apart. Now, this scares me a little bit because Nick Foles is coming back, and he might rally the troops. But the Eagles probably will lose at least 1 more. So I think it is a possibility that part of the equation will get taken care of because there's still 3 weeks to go. So we need to focus on what we need to do, which is win 3 more games as a Packers organization, beat the Bears, prove that we should be a playoff team, finish out strong at the Jets, and then, of course, mop the floor with the Lions at home. That would be great. And then we go into the playoffs because the Dolphins, the mighty, mighty Dolphins, are still playing for a playoff spot themselves. So we are all Miami fans this weekend. I'm even going to call up my friends from the Finside podcast and just be like, I got to come on the show and cheer you guys on because you're my team this week. So Dolphins fans, rally. And hopefully by the time 3 o'clock rolls around, we'll have beaten the Bears and the Dolphins will have won. And oh my gosh, what a great Christmas present to be going into the last 2 weeks of the season.
Standing by.
There is still hope, people. 4% chance, but there's still hope.
So you say there's a chance.
There is a chance.
And that's all we need.
And here's how that chance starts. In our keys to the Bears getting pounded by the Packers. Yes, Hicks and Mack. Not quite a law firm because they're missing a guy. But if the O-line that we have lets these guys go in, I'm sure Rodgers is going to sue.
Oh, my.
We have to stop the pass rush. Number 1, first and foremost. That is the number 1 thing we have to focus on. Because then, as I've already mentioned, Rodgers does need to play like Tom Brady did. Quick passes to avoid the rush of the Bears, get the ball out quickly, look for the short 5-yard pickups. Again, 4 yards times 3 equals 12. First down. Number 3, find ways to work Jones into the space. Because the running game, I'm going to assume, is not going to work this week. But Jones can find all kinds of holes all over the field. And if we can do one of those 5-yard dump-off passes to Jones, I'm sure we can get some rack. That's right, run after catch. Get a lot of those yards this week because that is something we've been known to do, especially in a Joe Philbin run offense from back earlier in the decade. Now, Breeland and Alexander need to show that they are ready to fly in the face of next year's sophomore slump that will be potentially coming by being third-year players this weekend. That's right. If we have anything to say, it's that Breeland and Alexander will win us this game because we will have a stellar offensive outing and will make Mitch Trubisky look like the pansy he is.
I would love to see 5 interceptions of Trubisky this week.
Just 2 defensive turnovers that cause points, whether it's a pick 6 or we just give the ball back to the Aaron at like the 20 so that he can just pound it in really quickly.
And if we win the coin toss in Chicago,
we defer.
All righty.
It's just what we do. I'm just being a realist. See how it all comes around, Wayne? See how it all comes around?
Man, it's almost like we've done this before. Let's check in and see some of the highlights from the official Green Bay Packers dope sheet for Week 15. We're already at Week 15, people. Packers at Bears. It's all linked at PackersFanPodcast.com/172. Now, the 5-7-1 Green Bay Packers are heading into Chicago to play the 9-4 Bears. I don't know how that happened, but it is what it is. Sunday will mark game number 198 in NFL's oldest rivalry, and the Packers hold a 97-94-6 edge in this series, including 2 playoff games where we are 1-1. And the Packers did win that first meeting this season, 24-23. We will take that victory, and we'll take another one this week. Now, of course, past history does not guarantee future success. They say that on all of the stocks commercials. Green Bay has won 15 of the last 17 games against Chicago during the regular and postseason. I would love to see that continue.
Were those 2 games that we lost? Was that the 2 that Lovey said, "Hey, as long as we beat the Packers twice, it's going to be a good season"?
Probably. Very, very probably. Keep your meds handy because 5 of the last 6 games between the two at Soldier Field have been decided by single digits.
I wonder if that influenced my score pick this week. I wonder.
Oh, spoilers. You such a tease. Notable connections. Packers president, CEO Mark Murphy was the athletic director at Northwestern from 2003 through 2007. And Green Bay special teams coordinator at the moment, Ron Zook, was the head coach at the University of Illinois from 2005 through 2011. And, this just in. Although they're currently in first place in the division, the Bears still, So read the official Green Bay Packers dope sheet for this game at PackersFanPodcast.com/172. Let's predict what's going to happen because were we or were we not pretty close with the Packers-Falcons score?
I'm trying to remember where I ended up. I said 21-20. You said 24-21, and the Packers obviously scored way more than that.
Yeah, it was 34-20.
So that means I go first because I picked the right Falcons score.
Good enough for me. Do it, Troy.
The over-under for this game is sitting at 45. Yes, 45. And we are a 6-point favorite in this contest. So that means we will... Yeah.
We are?
We're getting 6 points. I'm sorry. I said it wrong.
Man, I would thought something must have happened.
We're being favored. Like, I'm doing a favor by giving you 6 points, is what I meant to say.
Okay.
So it's already 6-0 before the game starts. Packers leading. And with that being said, that means we win by a touchdown because I'm going to call for Packers 24, Bears 23. The Packers win straight up.
Of course they do. 24-23, a 1-point victory. Like many of the single-digit contests. I'm actually also thinking we are going to win, and again, only by 1 point. It's going to be a nail-biter, people. Packers 18, Bears 17.
Okay, now the only way the Packers score 18 points is if there are 3 touchdowns with 3 missed extra points, or we literally have 6 field goals.
Or we have 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points, and 2 safeties. Who knows? It's the holiday season. Hey, you heard it here first. And the Bears, 17. So, hey, victory. A win is a win, Troy.
And they're going to need it because Sunday afternoon, it'll be 37 degrees with only a 10% chance of rain. So maybe we'll get a little sun up there. Potentially here in the Chicagoland area. I know it was a little bit warmer today. Had a little sleet rain mix thing going on, but it wasn't as bitterly cold as it was earlier in the week. So warm front coming through here in the Chicagoland area.
Get your shorts and barbecues ready to go.
Let's be realistic.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we have to be realistic about this particular episode because it is over. Yes, so long. Goodbye. Happy holidays to you. The Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast is not affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers. However, we would love for that to happen. So just tell them to reach out to us any which way possible. Media@PackersFanPodcast.com is the best way to get a hold of us. And I was once again on the Fifth Down UK podcast talking about the Mike McCarthy firing. So good to be on Love Sport Radio, 5:58 a.m. in the UK.
I heard that. That was very well done. I subscribed to their podcast so I could hear that when it came out, and you kept it light, tight, and brief. Fabulous stuff.
Good stuff.
And please continue to follow us on Twitter at PackersFanPod. Follow me on Twitter. Please continue to do so. I'm at Wayne Henderson. And one more episode of Don't Blink coming out right after New Year's. So stay tuned, because instead of a Christmas special this year, Doctor Who is doing a New Year's special. So we'll have another episode of Don't Blink right after that.
And I'm at Troy Heinritz on Twitter, and I do the Blacklist Exposed, the award-winning The Blacklist Exposed podcast. If you are a fan of The Blacklist on NBC or wherever it airs in your country or on Netflix, that's right, the James Spader spy thriller drama, we are back. Yes, we are going to have an episode next week with the series creator, John Bokenkamp. He's going to tell us all about the new season that starts January 3rd. So you do not want to miss that if you are a Blacklist fan. So the blacklistexposed.com. It is the blacklistexposed.com.
And remember to send in your feedback and be part of the next episode of the show. We'll be talking about another victory, I'm hoping. PackersFanPodcast.com/feedback is where you go to get your thoughts in. Keep those conversations going. Be sure to join the Packers Fan Podcast community at PackersCommunity.com, and we'll just keep the chatter going, because things are going to really heat up prior to the big Packers at Bears game.
Be sure to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, on Spotify, and on our apps on the go, so that you can listen when you head to the game in Chicago. Now, let's get hyped. Get the big W we need. It's playoff season early for the Packers, because we're going to go all the way thanks to this fantastic message from your Green Bay Packers Texas-only fanatics.
This is Dawn down here in Texas, a.k.a. Granny Cheese, and we have something to say.
Hi, I'm James.
Hi, I'm Kim.
Hi, I'm Melissa.
Hi, I'm Susan.
Hi, I'm Carrie.
Hi, I'm Lisa Montgomery, proud mom of number 88, Ty Montgomery, and we want to say,
Go Pack, go!